Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to talk to you about tattoo flash. And you might be asking yourself, what is flash? Flash is, I think it's a word that came from back in those carnival days where, anyone who would have any sort of booth, like, the teddy bears or whatever you might be hanging up to show what you're offering. That stuff used to be called flash. And then if let's say a tattoo artist was also at a carnival, the designs that they would put up, like to just hang and show the sort of tattoos that they can do as a tattoo artist, it was called flash. And that's where I guess it came from. So it evolved into now where your flash has become your kind of style or the kind of, and I think in a way that's what our social media profiles kind of represent in a lot of ways. And there's so many ways of producing flash. I guess that was the point of making this whole video, because back in the day you would do it, you can either do it with a crayon or maybe you can do it with watercolor paint. That was obviously one of the most popular and probably my most favorite way of creating flash. I mean, you can do it on an iPad, and even now you can do it with AI and these generative tools. And I guess that's also the other reason for this video, where I wanted to introduce you guys to our Flash designer here that you can access on the landing page, or go right to the studio page right here, and you are within the Flash designer, where you can ideate and come up with concepts that you may have in your head. Because I think creativity, even when it is enhanced with AI, is still creativity. And I don't think that there's any one person who can get AI to do exactly the same thing that another person would imagine and ask it to do. So, in a way, the art that you get from these generative technologies is still unique, and in a lot of ways you can inject your own influence as you like generate the kind of ideas that you would want to pursue as a tattoo, for example. Sorry, I just spaced out for a second. I was looking at this Flash designer interface that we have, and I couldn't see any previously generated images. So I was wondering, because obviously I've been using this for a little while, so there has to be some. So just like every other tab within the studio page where images are generated, you have your create tab and then your history tab, where you can look at the images that you've generated before. I'm sorry, my network seems to be a little bit slow today, so the images are loading a little bit slow, but yeah. And just like every other tab, you can set the privacy to either keep your creation private, or you can make it public for other people to see within our AI creations tab, which is also the landing page that you see the images, that are shown when the application first loads. So yeah, here's a bee design that I thought was kind of cool. I wouldn't have thought to put this inside of a design, for example. So it's like, in a lot of ways, it helps me imagine things that I would have never thought of, like doing in a certain way. And then that can also enhance the kind of style that you end up developing as a tattoo artist. And I think, yeah. So you can basically go in there and create any sort of design that you can imagine. Let me go back to the create tab here, and you can either use the speech to text, but then I'm just going to create a random tattoo of a, let me just say, a cat. And then we're going to use, you can pick which model you want to use. I'm going to use OpenAI's DALI 3 there, and then hit generate. And then you just wait a few moments and watch your design being created, or rather a design of a cat being created. And I think I would use it as a starting point of how to think about a cat design. Another feature of this that I thought would be useful was to make sure that the system understands the sort of prompt that you put in, and then maybe also offers you some information about what that design could potentially mean. It's a concept that I had back in the day. I was trying to get into this social media content creating thing. Then I started trying to make some meaning videos where I would like talk about what a specific symbol meant. But I don't think that those videos ever got the sort of traction that I assumed they would get. But I also thought this is information that would be useful, and this was another way to sort of channel that same energy. So according to this, a cat tattoo often symbolizes independence, mystery, and intuition. So there you go. So with each generation, you sort of have an insight of what it could potentially mean. So if you're trying to create something with meaning, you can have that baked into your prompt in a way. Okay, this does not look like a tattoo at all. I guess I'm gonna hit generate again and see what it generates, because I didn't like the version that we just got there now. So here's another cat design. I like this one a little bit better, and like I was saying before, I probably wouldn't have right off the bat thought of executing the bottom of the design like this. Obviously I could still enhance it a little bit, but I think it's quite clever. I think this would make like a beautiful, like what's that part in the center of the chest, like a sternum tattoo for someone who's really into cats. And that's I mean, without even needing to add much, that's a very interesting design that you could work on to make it more work like your style, or maybe start trying to generate things that look like a certain kind of way. Well, here's another meaning of a cat tattoo design. So now it often symbolizes independence, curiosity, and mystery, reflecting grace and agility. Well, see, that's the thing with tattoo meanings. You find that so many different symbols seem to carry so many different meanings that it gives you the opportunity to build the meaning for a design that you create. And I think there's an opportunity to be artistic when you're playing around with things that seem fluid like that. Yeah. So tell me what you think about the flash generator. Maybe we can use the same prompt but then change the model. Let's see what sort of design we get if we're going to use Google's Nano Banana. I'm sure if you follow anything to do with AI, you've heard about Nano Banana. It's been all the rave on Twitter or anywhere that you try to look. Everyone is talking about Nano Banana. This is still the first version of Nano Banana that's working on this, but the newer version will be implemented soon. So this is what you get. You still get a meaning. So a tattoo often symbolizes independence, intuition, and mystery. You see, it's kind of similar. So assuming you had no idea what a cat's tattoo means, it's also another way to sort of like verify whatever you think your tattoo or symbol means before you actually get it. Oh, this is interesting. From just a plain old cat prompt, it's quite interesting, and in a lot of ways, I'm scared to admit it, but it's like it feels a lot more artistic than even me, because part of what I feel like is tattoo art is understanding how to take an image and reproduce it in a way that would sit on the body without you having to ask what it is, without also it being obvious that it's. So you see, this tattoo would sit perfectly like on a shoulder, as a shoulder tattoo for someone who's a little bit buff, right on that cap. And it is a design of a cat, but I mean, I think it was tastefully executed, and I think maybe I'm too much of a fanboy, So let me stop being such a fan of this flash generator. So yeah, tell me what you think about the flash generator. It also has a version where you can sort of use what we call the dream engine, where you can just enter. It's like a sort of immersive way of using the flash generator to create whatever flash ideas that you had. So maybe let's just use the same idea that we were working with, which is a cat, and see what we can how we can generate a design here. So what do you think we should go for? Abstract, surrealist. Let's go with abstract. And then, then the magic starts happening, and then there's this little visualization that happens while you're waiting for your design to be hand delivered to you. I don't know if this is it's gonna make us lazy or more creative. I'm leaning towards it should hopefully make us more creative. But oh snap, what is this? It's a cat and it's abstract. I didn't even know what was gonna come out of that. But yeah. So yeah, you have the option to visualize things on the body. We have a tattoo preview section, but I think that's gonna be a video for another day, where you can basically place an image of whatever design you want on a client's photo that you can upload here, and these would be the results of the tattoo preview. But let's not dwell on that too much today. We are still working on I'm still trying to introduce you guys to the flash generator. So it has a second tab, which is like a transformation tab. So for whatever image that you might have, you're able to upload it here as a reference and convert it to any number of the tattoo styles that are out there. Not all of them, but I try to get a healthy amount of coverage. So we have black work, we have dot work, geometric style, Japanese style. You can't have tattoos without Japanese style, man. Minimalist, neo-traditional, sketch, traditional, and watercolor. Obviously there's a lot more tattoo styles out there, but for the purposes of getting this thing to be something that actually works, these are the ones that we have selected here. And maybe we can look at some of the previous generations where this was just an image that I downloaded from somewhere and then tried to transform it to a neo-traditional style. It's not very impressive, but yeah, it did that. And then let's see, here was an image of a random stencil that was converted to a geometric. So you also have here the option of choosing what model you want to use to perform whatever transformation that you're trying to create in whatever flash you're trying to generate. That sounds like I'm rapping now, but I'm not. But yeah, so the opportunities of playing around with designs to get like a unique version of something that you can truly be proud of having created, even though you created with AI, is definitely there. This was a random cross that okay, it's not random, it's a nice little design. Tried to convert it to the neo-traditional version of itself, and that's what we got. We can show the original transformed. What do you think? This must have been this OpenAI's model that it tends to be a little bit more creative in my opinion. So here's another. So I inputted like an image as the original, and then the sketched out version was this. Look at how it captures the, I'd love to do like some muscular texture like this. I just never get enough opportunities to try to like really get some of these intricate little textures into the designs that I do. So hopefully I'll get a lot more of that in future. So if you're looking for some really epic designs, I would definitely be down for something interesting. Okay, so this is that same image where we used the minimalist style. And I mean, I think for those kind of tattoos where you're just using outlines, I see it's becoming a popular-ish thing. I think this is a clever way to kind of generate stencils for that kind of thing right there. Oh, okay, we changed the same image to the Japanese style, and I think in a lot of ways it's actually true. How the Japanese style of tattoo should kind of look. Obviously, these tools are only going to get better from here, so let me know what you think about our Flash lab. And yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate any and all feedback. And if you've watched up until this point, maybe you've enjoyed the video, maybe you don't have anything to do, so maybe you should just subscribe. I don't think that's something wise to say in a video. I've never heard anyone say that. But hey, if you watched until this far, thanks. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you would like to see in a future video. I really would like to connect and maybe add some value to someone in whatever way that I can. And I guess that's the whole point of this whole platform. After having crafted it, it's like for myself, I was like, let me build tools that are usable for some of the things that I kind of imagine that I'd want to use. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit crazy, maybe it's too much of an outro. Until next time, take care, guys.